Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video, we're going to work on a participation activity together. So I'm going to move on down here to Module 5, Week 5 module, PowerPoint skills, and specifically, we're going to work on the participation SMART goals presentation. So we're going to practice a PowerPoint basically by making a little presentation. Let's start that up. Okay, follow along with me at the recording at blank. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm making the recording that I'll stick a web address right in there, probably YouTube. And so you can watch along and create this with me. So it doesn't have to look exactly like mine, but I want to see those skills being demonstrated. So we may do slightly different things, perfectly fine, but we're going to have a title slide with our title and full name, an intro slide that explains what a SMART goal is, and then we're going to have some content slides that break down the various parts of a SMART goal. And then, of course, we're going to have we're going to use images, photos, some other kind of visual aid graphic on there. And then we want to add an additional slide that uses smart art in some way. So that way we can get some hands-on practice with smart art. And it looks like we're going to put a footnote on there for everything. So this will be a participation 5 activity, not big points, but should be pretty easy for us, especially if we're all working together on it. And then you're going to submit your PowerPoint file here within Canvas. Cool. I need to get PowerPoint open. So on my browser or my computer, I'm just going to do Alt space and I'll look for a PowerPoint. There it is. By the way, that little trick with Alt space, that is from Microsoft Power Toys. So if you're a Windows user, you could install Microsoft Power Toys on your computer. And it adds maybe about a dozen or so cool functional little features that can enhance what you do. Out of the dozen or so features that the Microsoft Power Toys comes with, I probably use maybe 3 or 4 of them regularly. I use that one, the Alt space to start a program. I use this other thing called Fancy Zones a ton. So multiple times a day and stuff like that. And then for web stuff, there's a color picker tool I can use. I think it is a Windows Shift C, and that lets me hover over different parts of my screen, and I can extract a color code, which I can then use in a web page pretty easily. So there you go. I'm going to press escape to get out of that. Okay, so I'm going to start a brand new presentation. Now they got all of these themes on here, but I'm not going to do a theme. I'm going to kind of do something a little bit more custom. So I'm just going to hit a blank presentation. And before I get too deep into this, let me go ahead and take a moment to File, Save As. And I'm going to save to my desktop. I'm a go-to desktop person. I use my desktop as kind of the storage place for files that I'm working on. And then every few weeks, every month or so, I go through and I clean things out or move them to some other location and stuff. This is going to be CIS 120-participation 5-smart goals. I normally might use spaces in my file names. I didn't here because for web pages, I don't use spaces, and I was just doing a bunch of web page stuff for another class. So there you go. I didn't spell participation right, but I wouldn't knock any points off if you misspelled that. Cool, and save. Let's get to it. PowerPoint's probably the easiest program we're going to use, and since most people already have Word experience by now, that it's probably pretty easy just to explore and click on things. So I'm on the home ribbon, and it's giving me some design ideas, which look kind of neat. I don't think I'm going to use the design ideas too much. It's a relatively new feature, but it is pretty cool. Let's see, I'm going to jump over to the design ribbon, and I will choose a design. I don't want to choose a theme, but I'll choose a design. Let's see, nothing too fancy, I guess. Oh, that looks kind of cool. I'll do this one. Parallax. All right, I got that. And then it gives me variants of this design. So I could just do the default. Oh, I got orange and gray. That looks kind of neat. All right, I'll do that one. Again, you can do the same one that I'm doing or do something that you think looks a little better. Excuse me. It's all good. I just want to see that you can apply a design theme and change the variant. Now, I know I use the word theme. I don't want you to confuse these little design themes with kind of a built-in content where it kind of does a bunch of stuff, although those do look pretty cool too. Okay. So I've got this taken care of. All right, pretty happy. And you know what? I need the directions handy. So I'm going to take the directions on my browser. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pop these off. I'll just take the whole browser and move it off to the side. There you go. So I just put it over on my other screen. So that way I can glance over and check it out. title slide with the title and your full name. Okay, so the title of this presentation is going to be SMART Goals. And then I'll put my name in here. I'm going to press Shift Enter, which is a line break. CIS 120 computer concepts. Nice. Okay. All right. Well, looks pretty easy. So now I'm ready to start on my next slide. And it says the next thing I'm going to do is an introduction slide that explains what a SMART goal is. Cool. What I typically do when I'm on PowerPoint, I want to create a new slide, is I press Control M as in Mary. Control M as in Mary creates a new slide, and it tends to default to the basic title and content layout, but otherwise it'll just do the same layout that you used previously. But the title layout is a little bit different, so it doesn't repeat that one. And I'm going to start off my title here with what is a SMART goal? So you notice the SMART in SMART goal is all in uppercase letters. That's because it's an acronym. Acronyms and abbreviations are pretty similar, but an acronym is like an abbreviation that actually spells a word. So I use a program called FTP style of program. So it's the letters F, T, and P. That would be an abbreviation, stands for File Transfer Protocol, but it's not an acronym because it doesn't spell a word. What is a SMART goal? Well, if we don't know what a SMART goal is, well, then I have to jump out to the web. Where's my, oh, that's right, I moved my browser off over to the other side. Let me bring my browser back over here, open up a new tab. And what if I just typed in the question? What is a SMART goal? Now, I am using the DuckDuckGo search engine instead of Google. Google is a better, more robust search engine, but I'm experimenting a little bit with the DuckDuckGo search engine because it's known to have better privacy standards and things like that. So at DuckDuckGo, you may not get the same results, but you're also not going to have your search requests stored by a big company. And obviously I don't get as many big obvious advertisements over here too. Let's see. So over at corporatefinanceinstitute.com, SMART Goals Definition Guide and Importance of Goal Setting. That sounds pretty good right there. Of course, Indeed. Ooh, Indeed.com. That's a good job posting site. I'm going to click on that one. Let's see. So this is an article from November the 2nd, 2021. Cool. And ooh, nice little graphic. I wonder if we could reproduce something like this in PowerPoint, something similar. So this is the breakdown of a SMART goal. I really like this. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to open the image in a new tab. And cool, that's a nice image. And it's got their logo on there. That's fine. I'm going to save this image. And I'm just going to save it to my desktop. And I'll hit save. There we go. Because I can use this for another class too, maybe this class as well. I like that. And then we can try to do something that looks kind of neat. Okay, so a SMART goal is a goal that is specific, it's measurable, it's attainable, it's relevant, and it's time-based. Sometimes you'll see time-bound or timely. So basically, if you're going to write a goal and you want that goal to be truly a good goal, then it should have these 5 characteristics. Some of these characteristics are a little bit tougher to keep track of than others, but it needs to have all 5 to be truly a SMART goal. And then it looks like it breaks down in the article, all that is. So it looks like there could be some pretty useful information here. So I think I'm going to keep this article handy. And in fact, not only am I going to do that, I'm going to copy this address, copy that web address right up there. And let's see, I'm going to got my email open off to the side, and I'm going to send myself an email. There we go. So I'm just doing a little email to myself. For the subject, I'm going to put in CTO, which stands for check this out. I have a filter on my email that if I get an email message that has the letters CTO in the subject, it'll take it, it'll stick it over into a folder that I'll investigate later. It's my check this out folder. Check this out, SMART Goals article. Cool. Paste that web address right in there and send and ignore. Excellent. That was easy. Okay, so now that we've got this information, I'm going to take my browser. I'm going to move it back off to the side on my other monitor. I'm going to scroll to where I can see that image there. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. All right, what is a SMART goal? Now, I think a good way to do this might be to actually break down the letters of the SMART goal and then also put in some text off to the side. So I'm going to change the layout of this slide. I'm going to right click in a blank area of my PowerPoint slide, more blank area. I'm going to go to layout, and we've got several options on here, but I think what I want to do is the to content option instead of the title and one content. So right now we have title and content, but I'm going to switch it over to content. I like it. What is a SMART goal? And I'm just going to click on the one on the, I'll do the one on the right. And I'm going to put in specific, measurable, I'm going to spell them, attainable, relevant, and I'm going to put time bound. I like saying time bound instead of time based. All right, that looks pretty good, but the text really is rather small. So I can click on the border of this little content group. And now clicking on the border of a group like this, placeholder you can call it, is the same kind of thing as selecting the whole object. So I click on the border, and on my home ribbon, I can just increase my font, and I can make this a lot taller. Now I'm going to hit a limit here because this box is kind of limited in size. So that's kind of annoying. Well, I could make that box a little bit taller. Like my title up here is pushed down from the top of the slide. These boxes are pushed down, but I'm making several slides and I don't want to have to resize these all the time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little side trip. I'm going to go to my view ribbon and I'm going to click Slide Master. So over on the Slide Master is where I can kind of control how the layout of various slide layouts works. Now, when I go to the Slide Master the first time, I like to scroll up to the very top one, and you get this one right here, Parallax Slide Master, used by slides 1 and 2. So basically, this is like the master Slide Master, and it's going to control practically all of the layouts. As opposed to this one down here, which I'm active on, this would only control slides that have the to content layout. But I know I'm going to be using other slide layouts, so I don't want to do too much work on that one. I want to control the one at the very top. So basically, I go into the view ribbon, and then I click on Slide Master. Where'd it go? There it is. And then on this menu on the left, I scroll to the left and I click on that top option. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this text box or this placeholder, and I'm going to drag it up so it's a little bit higher, all the way up to the top. And I'll make it a little bit shorter. So that way that text is higher up there. And I'm going to take this content box and I'm going to stretch it taller, just from that top part. I'm going to move that up a little bit higher. There we go. That actually might be okay. Oh, you know what else I could do? I can grab the footer block, click on the border. I'm going to drag that down, get it closer to the bottom of the slide. I'm going to move these two. In fact, I'm going to click on one of them. I'm going to hold down my shift key and click on the border of the other. That allows me to select them both. And then I can click them and drag them both down at the same time. Now I can click on this big placeholder and I can drag the bottom border down. There we go. Excellent. So that gives me a little bit more room to work, but I can do more. I can click on the placeholder for the title, go to my home ribbon, and I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. I don't want to go too big. Okay, I'll use 48. And now I can click on the placeholder for the content box. And currently it's at 14 plus font size. It does that because there's multiple font sizes being used. I'm going to do the relative increase here. I'm going to make those nice and big. I'm not going to do a lot of big bulleted lists, but I want to use a really big font. Yeah, this seems pretty good. Yeah, okay, I'll go one more. I'm going to go back to the title. I'm going to change the font color of the title. I click on the border of the title placeholder. I'm on my home ribbon. I'm going to change the font color out to, I'm going to pick that shade of orange. Actually, yeah, so these are my theme colors, and the ones right at the top, I'll pick that darker reddish orange. That looks good. I want to put a shadow effect on it too. There's a little button here for shadow effect, text shadow, and applied, actually a nice little subtle shadow. I think I'm good with that. Do I like that? It's kind of thin. I'm going to click on the border again just to make sure. I'm going to make it bold. I'm going to go bold there. Want to do anything else? I guess I could rotate a little bit. Do I even want to rotate it? And then if I rotate it, I'd have to move it down somewhere so I can make sure people can see it all. And then click away. I don't know. Is that going to be annoying? I don't know if that's good or not. All right, I'm going to Control Z to undo. Put that back. Okay, I'll leave it like that for now. Okay, I think I'm ready. Now, I'm probably going to come back to the Slide Master, but I think I might be done with it for now. So I can go back to the View ribbon. I'm in Slide Master. I'm just go back to Normal View. And now you'll notice that my slide text is definitely different. Now, I'm a little bit bummed because I can tell that my title is not where I thought it was going to be. However, if I were to create a new slide, Control M, and I were to change this layout to the title and content, that title is going to be up there. So my Slide Master didn't control all the stuff I was hoping to. So I'm going to go back to View, View, Slide Master, and got that the way I want. I'm going to try this. I'm going to go to the Slide Master, click on the border of the title that's been formatted the way I like. I dig that. Let's see what happens. I'm going to go to, I've never done this before, but I'm going to go to the Home ribbon. This is still selected. I'm going to click Format Painter, and I'm going to go down to my To Content layout. Click on the border. Didn't really do it. It didn't move it like I was hoping it would do. So that's a bummer. All right, no worries. I'll just I'll do that a little bit quicker. Drag that up, move that up. I'm going to click on these boxes, click on the first one, hold down my Shift key, click on the second one, and I'm going to drag those boxes up taller. That's fine. I'm going to drag them down a little bit lower. The footer and stuff are where I want them to be, just not those. Okay, they're still selected. I'm going to, on my Home ribbon, let me just make those fonts nice and big. Yeah, looks good to me. Okay, so a couple more tweaks. Back to my View menu, back to Normal View. There we go. So now if I look at this, all right, what is a SMART goal? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound. I'm going to select this text. It doesn't need to be a bulleted list. So I'm going to turn off the bullet list feature. It is still a list, I guess technically. I should take it back. It's still a list of paragraphs, but it's not necessarily a bulleted list. I'm okay with that. I'm going to select the S in the word specific, and I'm going to change the font to something really big and block. Oh, I got that 28 Days Later font. I don't know if you ever saw that movie, zombie movie, British. I don't know, God, it's got to be like 20 years old at least, probably early 2000s it came out. Pretty good movie. But I got that font. All right, so, and let me see. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's bold. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to change the color of that letter S, and I'm going to make it super big. How does that look? Not as good as I would hope because the S shows up so high there. Not as cool as I was hoping. Let's see. Bear with me here. I'm going to click on font. Can I make it a subscript? How does that look? Actually, that looks a little bit better. And now if I make the font bigger, okay. I think I'm going to go for this. This is looking pretty rough, I think. Specific. I'm going to select this text, and on my Home ribbon, I'm going to double-click Format Painter. 1, 2. So double-click it, and I'm going to select the M, and then the A, and then the R, and then the T. All right, it's resizing the letters a little bit, and then I can just click Format Painter to turn that feature off. You know, it's not too bad. And then I'm going to move this over, and then I can make this text part here bigger. I'm okay with that. Probably be better if my title had that same font. So that way is consistency, but I'm going to go with it. Okay. And then I'm going to turn the bullets off on the left because I don't need a bulleted list. I'm going to type just a little paragraph. So basically, All right, good enough. Just kind of type that off the cuff there. And I'm going to increase that font size nice and big. Oops, that's the wrong way. What am I doing here? Why is it not changing that font size? Made it smaller, that's for sure. Control Z. Okay, that's selected. Let's change this font size this way. Get something good. Okay, now, if you want a number in between, like if I want a number in between 54 and 60, you can do that. I can go to 54. It's not letting me type it, but you can actually type a font size right up there. So I could type like 40, press enter. And boy, it's really overriding that. So I'm not sure why it's doing that. I must have some other style. I wonder if it's got some style constraint compared with this one. So I might be okay with that. However, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to select this text. I'm going to Control X to cut. I'm going to click on the border of this placeholder, and I'm going to delete it so it's gone. And now I'm going to go to Insert and Shapes. And let's see. I'm going to put a shape in here instead. Do a call out. Right click on this. I'm going to edit the text. There it is. And I'm Control V as in Victor to paste. There we go. Got that. I'm going to make this font size bigger. Cool. I like that. Make it a little bit larger. Am I okay with the centered text? Do I want left aligned text? Yeah, I'm good with that. Yeah, so now we got that, that call out on there to hold that text in. I like it. Now, if I look over at the directions, and now we're going to have 5 content slides that focus on each of these parts. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our first one here. I'm going to change this layout to content. Specific. Now, I can always go back to View, Slide Master, click on this top option, click on the box that holds my title in, home ribbon, change my font out to 28 days later. And now it's going to have that font, and then View, and then Normal. And now all of my fonts for the titles, at least, are going to have that 28 days later font. Yeah, it looks kind of cool, kind of neat. Okay, so specific. Now, if I look over at our resource, remember, I got this resource here that I'm going to be referencing over here at Indeed. And it's telling me on here, for a goal to be specific, be as clear and specific as possible with what you want to achieve. The more narrow your goal, the more you'll understand the steps necessary to achieve it. So you want a narrow goal. You don't want something broad and unknowing. So, for instance, a very broad goal might be, I want to be healthier. My goal is to be healthier. Well, that can mean so many different things. Could it mean that I stop drinking large quantities of Diet Coke? Yes, if I did that, I would be healthier. Could it mean if I slept better? Yes, I'd be healthier. There's so many things that go into that goal of being healthy, that being healthy is too broad. It is not a specific goal. So if I wanted something very specific, it might be something like, I will only drink 24 ounces of Diet Coke per day, which is a huge change for me. And then it could be something a little bit more specific like that. Or even better, instead of making a goal that has kind of a negative connotation, like I'm going to limit myself or I'm going to stop doing X, you could make the goal more positive. Well, I am going to drink, let's say, 64 ounces of water per day. And regardless, I'm not even worried about Diet Coke consumption, but if I'm drinking 64 ounces of water per day, that probably logically might reduce my Diet Coke intake. Because if I'm drinking something else, then I'm probably going to start to downplay that negative habit by supporting a more positive habit. And I'm recording this, by the way, at 12:10 p.m. on a Friday. And I think I've only had like a couple sips of regular water. So that would be a good specific goal for me. I might do that. So specific, be clear and specific as possible with what you want to achieve, the more narrow that goal is. So a good specific goal. Let's see. I'm going to put the text on the right. And Make your goal so specific that it's clear what you need to do to achieve it. Keep the goal narrow. In fact, in a way, we could even say, yeah, I'm going to say keep the goal simple too. Keep the goal simple. And no, I'm going to change that. Keep the goal focused to one specific action. Make it super specific. For instance, I don't want my goal to be, I'm going to drink 64 ounces of water and no more than 24 ounces of Diet Coke, okay, per day. Well, you're right. It is specific, but now we're compounding the goal. So now it's got two aspects. The better thing would be to create two completely separate goals. So keep that goal short and sweet. Keep the goal focused to one specific action. Now, I want to have a visual that goes along with this, and I'm not sure what I want to do. If I just did an image search, for the word specific. Got to spell it right. Come on. Specific. Images. What do we get? No, there you go. Smart goal graphic. That one looks pretty neat. Oh, well, that's kind of what I was trying to do with the big font. Boy, they got a lot of smart goal graphics on there. Oh, I like that one too, that horizontal one. Interesting. I wonder if I can use this. Is kind of a neat graphic right there. I wonder if I can use this, but then focus people's attention on just the S. I'm going to try it. So I'm going to take this image, just found it on the web. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to save it. I'm going to save the image to my desktop. It's a WebP image. You don't have to worry about what that is, but it's cool that they're using that format. WebP is a different image format that was created by Google a few years ago. It's popular for web images. And I'm going to try this anyway. I'm going to go ahead and copy this image and then paste it into my PowerPoint, even though I have it saved. I'm going to click on the border of this content box and then Control V as in Victor to paste. Cool. That image goes right in there. All right, well, I like that, but I don't want to see the whole part to it, even though I kind of dig it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it a little bit so that the word smart looks like it's kind of straight. Or, I'll rotate it so the word smart's kind of straight. And then I'm going to use my cropping. So if you double click on a picture that you've put into your PowerPoint, you're going to get a special ribbon called the picture format ribbon. And there's an option over on the right so I can crop it. I think my picture might be under there, my photo, a little video image, but there's a little crop button. I can click on that top part of the crop. And I'm going to try to crop this thing out so that really it's mostly just the letter S. I might get a little spillover, but I'm not too worried about that. Okay, I'm going to go with that. I'll move this up a little bit higher. Doesn't really make a difference. So, okay, I'm going to click the crop button again, and it's going to accept that. Now I can take this and I can make it, I can embiggen it, and then I can move it around and I can rotate it. Now, because I'm making this chunk of image so big, it's getting a little blurry. So I think what I'll do is I'll double click it again, make sure I'm in the picture format ribbon, and I'm going to look at artistic effects and what can I do here to kind of disguise the fact that, ooh, that looks neat there. I'm going to do that, paint strokes. Okay. I'm happy with that. And if I stretch it this way, it'll start to get a little distorted, or it'll stretch out, but it doesn't look like it's hurting the quality of the image. So there we go. So now I've got my slide for specific. Make your goal so specific that it's clear what you need to do to achieve. Keep the goal narrow, keep the goal focused. Cool, I like that. So what I'm going to do next, and I might cut this chunk of the video out though, so that way you're not watching me, but because I'm just going to kind of do the same kind of thing over and over again, and then we'll come back and we'll see how things are looking. So I think what I'll do, I'll do that. But I'm going to make 4 more slides on the different parts of my goal. And it's going to be similar in this. I'm going to have 2 or 3 bullet points that kind of describe that part. And I'm going to have an image. I'm going to use the same image, I think, but I'm going to crop it to different sections and style it the same way. So I'll go ahead and stop here. And the next thing you know, I'm going to be close to being finished. Hey, it's me, I'm back. Yeah, so I just did my measurable slide. There it is right there. Make your goals easy to measure, so that way you know, and maybe others know when you've succeeded. And I recropped it, but I was going to show you this. That was kind of neat. I was going to type achievable, ACHIE. Then I was going to do /attainable. I kind of know SMART goals with the word attainable, so I went to do a slash, and my font doesn't have a slash in it. I thought that was kind of neat. I think it says something like 28 days later font, so they don't have a slash there. Let's see, do they have a pipe symbol? Nope, they don't have a pipe symbol either. I guess I could do an I. Yep, I'll do an I. So I'm going to use a letter I as a spacer, and I'll make that I extra big. There we go. Achievable, attainable. And I'll show you what I did here too. So I'm using the same font. So I double click on this image from same font, same image. I go to my crop option and I can see the rest of the image. So I'm just going to kind of move this down here to get the A, the achievable, move that over there. And I want to get the whole word achievable. So let me get that. And let me get a little more of that yellow A. There we go. And once I'm satisfied with that, I can hit my crop button again and just kind of move this where I want, just to line it up nice and neat. I'm using these little grid lines too to help me out. That's kind of helpful. Come on, where'd it go? There it is. Cool. Okay, so achievable, attainable. You want it to be something that you can do, okay? So let's go back to my health scenario. I want to drink 64 ounces of water in a day. Yes, based on what I know about me, that is an achievable goal. I have access to the water. 64 ounces is not, an unhealthy amount. It's easy enough to do if I just do it. So that is perfectly achievable and perfectly attainable. Now, what if my goal was something a little bit more lofty? I don't know the names, unless I should probably pick something I can do. I want to be able to do a wheelie on a motorcycle. Okay, so I do have a motorcycle, but I'm not at the fitness or riding skill level that I can perform a wheelie on a motorcycle. And it's not even something I'm really that interested in trying, but I think that's not an achievable goal for me. Now, I know there's time frames and there's amount of practice and stuff like that, but I don't feel right about it. Now, part of this, my little analogy here is I'm also breaking the R rule, the relevant goal, or the relevant part of SMART goal, but you want it to be achievable. If I'm at a certain weight, let's say I'm 175 pounds, and I want to lose 40 pounds. That's a lot of weight. And especially if I wanted to lose that, by the end of summer, that's not really an achievable, attainable goal. The tough thing is achievable and attainable is personal to everyone. So you have to kind of decide for yourself if your goal is achievable / attainable. So I'm going to rewrite these little bullets here. Make your goal something you, all capital letters, can achieve. Something you, all capital letters, can attain. Okay. This is personal, but you can also think of this part of SMART goal as realistic. However, we don't want to call it realistic because the R is already taken by relevant coming up on the next slide. There we go. So we've got that. So I'm going to jump over to my next slide, which I just did. I copied slides just so I'd have all the same look and style and stuff like that. And now I'm on R for relevant. I'll just keep the recorder on. I am recording, right? Let's make sure I got to hit a little button over here. Yeah, I think I'm recording. Cool. All right, let me go ahead and take care of this image. Oops, and crop. The R I want is all the way over there. I'm going to zoom out real quick so I can see a little bit more what's going on. And now I can more easily just take that, do that. Let me get that whole word realistic. Yeah, looks good enough. Crop, put that over there. It's pretty big. So let me bring that down. And I'll just kind of stick it right close. I'll just eyeball it so you get it kind of spaced well. Looks good. And I can zoom back in. There's a little button there. I can just auto zoom. Okay, little buttons in the lower right for zooming and stuff like that. So it's hard to see the word realistic, but that's okay. It kind of keeps with the style. Now I could click on this and I could go back to artistic effects and try something else. But I think it's just going to be tougher to see. Regardless. Ooh, that's kind of neat. I'm going to do that one. What is that? Glow edges. Okay. Keep the goal focused. Okay, relevant. So relevant, if I look at my resource here, when setting goals for yourself, consider whether or not they are relevant. Each of your goals should align with your values and larger long-term goals. There we go. So as much as I might like to, I cannot really set SMART goals for you. You need to kind of set the SMART goal for yourself. Now, you could be setting the goal for yourself based on what a teacher or an employer or a spouse or something may want of you. But still, it's important that the goal is relevant to you, your values, your work ethic, and things like that. So I'm going to change these bullets here. And let's see. Make your goal in line with your personal values and work ethic. The goal needs to be, I don't want to use the word relevant. You don't want to use the word you're defining in the definition. The goal needs to be meaningful to you for you to take it seriously. Okay, so if my doctor wants me to lose weight, that's probably smart. However, it's not yet a relevant goal for me because I haven't adopted that myself to write that SMART goal. So somebody else wanting you to do it isn't enough to make it a SMART goal. You have to really buy in and say, yes, this does fit with my overall life plan, my value system and things like that. So there's relevant. And then I'm almost done. My last content slide is going to be for, I can double click on that to select the word. And this is going to be time. Oh, that's right. I can't do that. I'll just do time bound without a, oh no, I'll do dash. Oh, I can't do dashes either. All right, I'll just do a space, time bound. Double click, crop, zoom out, all the way down to letter T. Double click, and I'll just click crop again, move it where I want it. Yeah, looks good. And then zoom back in. Timely, time bound. Yeah, they have timely on here, time bound up there. What did they say? Time based on our resource, but it's all kind of the same thing. What is the goal for your, I want to drink 64 ounces of water. Okay. Do I want to drink 64 ounces over the week? Over the day, over the hour, over the year? You need to have some kind of time constraints, once again, so you understand when you want to measure that goal or when will you be successful with that goal. And it can apply to all kinds of things. I want to save $500 per month into a separate account for the next 12 months. There you go. It's pretty specific. It's very specific, very measurable. Is it attainable? Well, is it achievable? It all depends, it depends on finances and stuff like that. Maybe 500 is too easy. Maybe it's 1,000. Maybe if 500 is too tough, maybe it's $50. Who knows? So once again, that's personal. Is it relevant? Well, if it's important for me to save that money because I have some lofty plan to do something with it, then yeah, it is relevant. And of course, time bound. I have a specific amount on a monthly basis for the next 12 months. I will know monthly if I'm successful, and I'm going to know at the end of the 12 months if I'm successful because I've got those time constraints on there. So if I'm going to drink 64 ounces of water, it's going to be per day, every day, period. So time bound. If I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to lose 1.5 pounds of weight every week. And I'd have to do the math to figure out how much I want to lose and stuff like that. But still, per week or something like that, with a total of X amount of pounds lost by, June 30th or something like that. Who knows? You have to do the math, figure out what's still attainable and achievable for you. So you got to do all that kind of stuff, but still, it's pretty easy to put a time limitation on it. I'm going to study computer concepts. All right. Well, when are you going to study it? How much time are you going to study for each study session? Yeah, it's too vague. Read a sentence, watch a little video. Is that done? Is that studying? So put that time limitation on there. I'm going to select these bullets. What does this say? What is your goal time frame? An end date can help provide motivation and help you prioritize. For example, if your goal is to earn a promotion to a more senior position, you might give yourself 6 months. If you haven't achieved your goal in that time frame, yeah. So basically, yeah, put a time limitation, a time frame. And of course, it can help you prioritize. This is pretty lightweight, but I've got a goal that I started in the winter term, actually doing this activity with students. I wanted to read more. And I set myself a goal that I wanted to read at least 6 books per month. Okay, fantastic. Actually, I've been doing pretty good. So I've done this for January, February, March, and I'm in April. And I've been keeping up with that goal just fine. However, what I read next is often determined by how much longer I have the book. So if I check it out from the library, when is it due? So I'm reading the book Dune right now, or listening to the audiobook of Dune. It's okay. I thought the movie was pretty good, but so I've never read Dune, so I'm listening to that. And I'm doing that one right now, mostly because I checked it out from a different library and I only had it for a couple of weeks. And so I wanted to get on that right away. So that way I'm not using this other library's resource. I'm just a guest there, and then I can be done with it. But I also have some other books that I need to take back physically to the library, I think on April 19th, and today's April 15th. So that means those books also need to be moved up because they've got to, if I was making a goal for that, I'm going to finish that book. And one of them is very exciting, I'm sure, SEO for Dummies. So I'm going to finish that book by the 19th. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Remember, it's not too critical. Obviously, I can always recheck out the book, but I'm using the time constraints to help me prioritize. So time bound. Put time limits. Oh, let me see. Yeah, I'll just say put time limits. And then another bullet, how about kind of a nicer way of saying the same thing, set a target date for your goal so you can easily determine success. And of course, time constraints will help you prioritize and determine achievability. Is that a word? Yeah, sure it is. Achievability. Yeah. Once again, if I want to lose weight, I'm going to lose, let's say I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to lose 20 pounds by the end of May. Well, that's going to be kind of tough, especially for me, because the end of May is just about 6 weeks away. And losing 20 pounds over 6 weeks, I don't think is healthy. I don't think that's the way you're supposed to do it. So that would not be that time constraint that I put on myself there kind of now impacts some of those earlier parts of the SMART goal, the attainable part for sure. So that time constraint doesn't, if it's out of whack, the whole thing's out of whack. So got to put those time constraints on there, but still keep those goals attainable and achievable, still specific and stuff like that. All right, I think that's pretty good. So if I look over at the directions, not 100% done, but I am getting darn close to being done. So each of your content slides uses an image, photo, or visual aid to support the topic. I did that, kind of boring, I guess, but a final slide that displays smart art showing several actions you would commit to that would support your SMART goal success. Oh, okay, well, that seems pretty easy. And then I got to do a footnote thing. All right, let me put this back on the other side. Feeling good about this. I'm going to do a Control M's and Mary, create a new slide here. Let's see. The final slide displays smart art showing several actions you would commit to that would support your SMART goal success. Okay. Actions lead to success. Okay. So if you've got a goal, well, it's not just say you got the goal. There's generally multiple things you can do to help you achieve that goal, to give you confidence that you can achieve that goal. So I'm going to go really simple here. I'm going to start off by writing a goal, and then I'll do some smart art. I'm going to click over here. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to change the layout of this slide. Come on, layout. I'm going to change it to content, title and content. And then they give us these little diagrams down here. I'm going to click on this one is the smart art, insert a smart art graphic. And I'm going to look through and see what we've got. Do I want to do process? No, I want to do parts of a whole, relationship or something like that. Pyramid? Nah, I think relationship is probably pretty good. Matrix? Matrix could be kind of neat. I'm going to try this one. Okay, I'm going to get one. It's got this box in the middle. And here's what I'm thinking. I can kind of write my SMART goal in the middle, and then I can have 4 actions surrounding it, which would help me achieve that SMART goal. Okay, so I'm going to click OK. I've accepted that. And there it is right there. Now, I'm going to write my SMART goal and see if I can't hit all the parts. And I'm going to do a simple one. I'll just do the drinking water. Okay. I will drink 64 ounces of water each day, every day. Yeah, I can just say every day. Period. Pretty short goal. However, does it have all of the parts? Well, let's find. Let's find out. Specific. Well, yeah, drinking 64 ounces is pretty specific. We know what that action is. I don't have to really describe it too much. Well, what does drinking water really look like or sound like, or how would that work? Okay, so it is specific. Is it measurable? Well, it is really. I mean, and in fact, I don't have them right here, but I've got these 32-ounce bottles. You know, these, what are they called? I forget what they're called. They got a name. Anyway, I got these 32-ounce bottles. Obviously, I can fill one up to 32 ounces. I can drink it, and then I can fill another one up, or the same one up, and then I can drink that, and I can make sure I've done 2 of those a day. And so it is very measurable. I can easily make a little checklist that I've done such a thing. Okay, so is it attainable? Yes, it is. I'm a grown-up. I have the ability to drink 64 ounces of water over a 16-hour period that I'm awake. I think I can manage that, even though I'm not proving it really well at the moment. But as soon as I'm done with this recorder, I'm going to go drink 32 ounces of water and get started on that. Okay, I will drink 64 ounces of water. Is it relevant? It is relevant. This actually is relevant to me because this is something that I've been kicking around for a while. Some days I'm better. Some days I'm not so good. I think yesterday I did pretty good drinking water, but like I said, today it's like almost 12:40 p.m. now, and I really haven't had any water to speak of. So it's relevant to me. And is it time bound? Yes, it is. Because I've got this every day on there, that makes it time bound. Now, I don't need a time limit for something like this. Hopefully this goal will go on continuously. So it's got a daily time constraint. So I think this kind of meets all of the parts, the 5 parts of a SMART goal. Well, they got these little design themes up here. So if I click on the border of this, I don't like that one. 3D one's kind of neat. I'll do that one. Cool. Now, really quickly, I'm just going to put down some little actions that can lead to me winning at this goal. Okay. Well, even though I kind of messed up on this part, I should start off with okay, prep a 32-ounce water bottle first thing in the morning. Yeah, a little bit vague, but that's okay. This is an action that I could get to. Yeah, definitely, obviously, within 20 minutes of waking up, I should go get that bottle prepped and stuff like that. Prep a 32-ounce water bottle first thing in the morning. Okay. Okay, finish the first 32-ounce bottle by 12 p.m. And then I'm just going to add to this. Prep another bottle right away. Okay. I'm going to do that. And obviously, I will finish my second 32-ounce bottle. Let's say I'm going to do this by 6 p.m. And then another action. I'm going to track my success because I think that can help. There's this concept called breaking the chain, which I think Jerry Seinfeld, the comedian, was really big into. He would just build a habit, actually use a calendar, and you build a habit. He would obviously, I'm going to, write a joke or a bit every day. And as you accomplish that, you cross out that day. You've achieved that one action towards your goal. And and basically your real objective is to not have any gaps. Okay. So if I just typed in goal, probably don't break the chain, but break the chain. We'll probably get a nice visual of it. Let me just do an image search here. And that's kind of neat. Yeah, here's someone doing something like that. It's kind of hard to tell, but they've got it listed out, and then you obviously with a pen, you could just cross that out, nice red marker. So that way you're doing it every day and make it super simple. It could be something like, I'm going to floss every day. And just keep doing those little red X's and print this out and keep it somewhere handy. I'm going to drink 64 ounces of water a day. So I think I'll do that too. I'll make up something that I can print off, and that way I can easily just put a little X on there, and I'm going to keep it by my computer, which I'm at every day. So I can constantly see that, oh boy, I need to hit that goal. So I think it'll be kind of motivating to have that on there. And not really seeing a better image at the moment, but I think you can imagine what I'm talking about. Here's someone trying something a little bit different. They got words going down, but I just like the simplicity of a nice X or a check mark or something like that. Oh, there's a pretty good view right there. Yeah, someone Xing it out right there. Their goal is to write every day. So if they want to improve their ability to write, they want to be a writer. They're not being very specific on the amount, but we're not saying this is a writing goal. Actually, no, it looks like they do have it. Specific, write every day, measurable. They have this backwards. Should be, I get it. I would look at it backwards, but yeah, words greater than or equal to 500. So they have a goal to write every day, 500 words. It is achievable and it's relevant to them. Those are personal things. Obviously, some people that would be an impossible task. Others, could be very prolific and write more. Actually, it's kind of a nice little spread worksheet. I like that. It's specific, it's measurable to them personally. It's achievable and relevant. And they don't have a little space for time bound on here. So they don't have a little place for the T, the time limit. However, we have every day. So they've kind of combined the specific and the time bound all in one sentence. But I kind of like the idea of, since they've done this, have a blank for, I like that idea. I might have to copy that idea. And I can do a handout for class. Cool. All right. So back over to my PowerPoint. My last action is going to be check and track daily success on a don't break the chain worksheet. I'll just call it a worksheet or calendar. There we go. So yeah, I've got one little goal, and I'm going to drink 64 ounces of water every day. And I've got some actions which I feel like would lead to my success. Now, if they were health related goals or other things, fitness goals or some sports goal or something like that, you might have to really figure out, well, what kind of actions can I do to help me achieve that goal? But I think you can do it. So I've got my actions on there. And I think last but not least on the browser, add a footnote text to all slides except the title slide that reads participation 5. Okay, that's pretty easy. So in PowerPoint, I can go to, where do I go? I go to Insert, Header and Footer. I'm going to do a footer. I'm going to put CIS 120, participation 5, and I'm not going to show it on the title slide. I'm going to hit Apply to All. There we go. There's a little participation 5 down there in the lower, kind of lower left, I guess. And I think that's it. So if I go to my presentation now, here's my title slide. I'm just going to use my wheel scroll. Okay. What is a SMART goal? What is specific, measurable, achievable, attainable, relevant, time-bound, actions lead to success? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Cool. All right, so that is it. And of course, from this point, then we would stick it into Canvas. So just make sure you've saved your PowerPoint file and turn it in Canvas. Thanks for hanging out with me.